Hello, Cody. How's it going?
Hey.
You are good. We can hear you.
Perfect.
All right. So, Hackathon, man. Supabase Hackathon started Friday. So maybe we can start by explaining what we're gonna work on. Hello there in the chat. Okay. So what are we working on, Cody?
I don't know. You tell me. This was your idea.
Okay. So Supabase Hackathon. We are supposed to basically build something with Supabase. I think that's kind of like the gist of the hackathon. Let's see, 10 days to build an open source project. Oh, it has to be open source. So that's not a big problem. Enter as an individual or whatever, build whatever you want, project, app, tool, library, whatever. And then at the end, we'll do like a little video. So yeah, that's going to be fun. So the project here that we were kind of thinking of was basically we can check release notes for a package on NPM, something like that, and try to identify breaking changes, potentially, from the release notes.
Yep.
And then maybe we can sprinkle in some AI to try and see if we can get some help into dealing with those breaking changes if we need to. So we'll see if we get there.
But yeah, and I think you said something about summarizing the results.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Yeah, especially if you add like your project and we detect all the dependencies, we could summarize like, hey, like if you need to update all dependencies to the latest, here are the breaking changes you need to be aware of for X package. Yeah, that's kind of the idea, I think.
All right, well, let's do it. What's step one?
Well, step one, I was thinking, well, Supabase auth, we do have it. We use like a quick signing with GitHub. Maybe we can do a quick review of how that is set up. And then what we can do is we're going to have to talk to NPM API, I believe, a little bit, maybe. So we'll probably explore that a little bit. Let's see, NPM API docs. Let's pull that in. Because, yeah, we're probably going to have to talk to that a little bit just to get the packages or whatever. Or we could talk straight to GitHub. That's another option, I guess. Where is the API docs for NPM? That's interesting.
So it looks like Uranium Cat has remembered your promise there, Val.
Completely missing. For the auth, yeah. So we'll review a little bit of the auth, particularly in this context with GitHub. which I think could be interesting because there's a little bit of a quirk on local. It works a little differently. And then for Nest.js, we'll see, because it depends what we need to do. Here with the hackathon, it could be a little tricky because we only have, 10 days, they said?
Yes.
So we'll see. But we might be able to set up a quick Nest.js API, maybe double check something. We'll see how it goes. But we'll try. First, let's see what we do. So this is the docs for the API for NPM. So this is probably what we're going to use. Yes, it is a little weird. We'll see how it goes. But I think mostly this endpoint is the one we're going to be interested in. That would be my guess. So maybe that's where we could potentially go through Nest and try to call this and figure it out. So far, yeah, we did a little bit of work this weekend to try and set it up. So we just have like a basic Next.js app. There's nothing crazy happening in there, but we do have signing with GitHub. So if you click this button here, technically it works. But here I need to probably start Supabase. That would help. I don't think I started Supabase. There you go.
Help.
Yeah, I have the wrong Supabase started here. So let me just start that. And I'm going to move this to the side a little bit. There you go. So yeah, make sure you start the right Supabase. That is usually a good idea. So Supabase start on local, which is going to boot everything in Docker. And it's going to be great. Takes a little bit of time, but it should work. Okay, so while this is starting, maybe I can pull up the code a little bit. So yeah, we went with the mono repo here. So we have Supabase, which is all the config and all the migrations that we need to use for the Supabase. Here we just have the little user table that you created yesterday, Cody. Mm-hmm. The packages are just the default that come with a turbo repo, but we don't necessarily use them for now. And then we just have one Next.js app, which is in here. Oh, we fixed the screen share blur. Well, that's because it's my screen this week and not Cody's. So maybe it's just Cody. Cody's screen is cursed.
How dare you play my screen?
Okay, so yeah, basic Nest.js app. This one was created with the one we used last week, but I think you missed that part, Uranium, which is basically create next app, right? Yes, create next app -e with Supabase, and it just like creates the auth kind of already there. So it just creates a bunch of utils for Supabase. There's like a middleware. There's a server thing. Maybe I can bring my code a little bigger here. Whoa, that's way too big though. Okay. So yeah, there's server client here that we can use to get the client. There's a browser client here that we can use as well. And then the middleware, which is just checking the auth, potentially setting the cookie if we need to, and then just returning some stuff. And then, yeah, basic pages. We have one protected page right now, and then a couple of auth pages, and then the route TS here is just the callback for the authentication. I did have to modify a couple of things here to handle the particular GitHub login thing, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same as the default install. So nothing too crazy here. In the Supabase side, however, I had to modify this config toml here. And I had to add a couple of things. So it's mostly over here. Where did I put it? GitHub here. So you gotta add this basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just enabling, because on local, like if you go on supabase.com, you can go into authentication providers and you can kind of activate your providers in there. When you use the local version, it doesn't have that menu, so you have to do it in the config directly. Mm-hmm. So I basically did that. I just said like, okay, I need this external like GitHub authentication thing. I want to enable it. Here's the client ID. Here's the client secret. These comes from a GitHub app that we created on GitHub.
Okay.
The callback here is the callback to the Supabase API. So this link here is the Supabase API, and then it just calls this callback endpoint here.
And does that not need to be updated when we deploy?
No, because this config only applies locally.
Okay.
Yeah, so like when we deploy, we will need to go into supabase.com and actually set up the client for the GitHub app in there and so on and so forth. So this config here, only anything you put in there only applies to your local environment. Like it doesn't apply to supabase.com necessarily. So yeah, that's pretty much what we needed to do. There's no other changes in that config. It's the default one from Supabase otherwise. Actually, no, there's one more thing. I have to add these as well. Because once GitHub redirects to Supabase, the auth v1 callback, then Supabase will redirect to one of these URLs here. And it needs to be in there so that GitHub knows like, oh, it's okay to redirect to those URLs. So it has to be in here. And then this way, when Supabase has done the token validation and whatever, it's going to call your callback, which is this one, with the code. And then this one can redirect you basically to localhost, potentially, in this case. So that's what you need to do. You kind of need to get the forwarded protocol and kind of like redirect there. But yeah, that's pretty much the only code that has changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Do you want to go over what you did as well, like the migration? So yeah, we did create the user table as well, just like we did last week. Created the user table, kind of created like a reference, a foreign key to the auth users table. We do have this function here that can grab some information from GitHub this time and kind of add that into a user profile. And then we have that trigger that is set onto the auth users table. So that is pretty basic. Speaking of, I don't think I did the migration on my end. I have it changes, but I don't think I did the migration. So I might need to run Supabase. Here, I guess I could do a Supabase DB reset. That would work fine. So I'll just do that. So it's going to drop my local database, just reset the thing, and then run the migration. So restarting the containers. Go. All right, Supabase reset. We're good. So let me go on the studio just to see if we have everything proper. So table editor, I do have your users table. Then we go to database. I have the function here, and then we go to trigger, and we go to auth, and then we have that trigger here. So it looks like we are set up. So if I go here now and I refresh and I click sign in with GitHub, we should be able to sign in with GitHub now. There you go. I'm authenticated with GitHub. We can see my profile here. And then if I go into here, let's see, up table editor, users, cool. Perfect. We have the user. So we are good. Okay, so next step. What do we do, Cody? Should we create like a field where we enter? Should we start simple? Like we just put a field, grab a repository name, I guess. So you could type like a library, and then we search it on npm or something.
Yeah, well, I think we should build the API, right? So let's create the npm client.
The npm client in Nest, then.
You know what? Uranium Cat wants it. Let's do it.
So it's good. Okay, so the prerequisite for Nest.
The main goal of the project or the main goal of just today?
We're trying to look at release notes.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to see Project. All right.
Yeah.
So the main goal of the project is to summarize the change log of projects that you're interested in. So the major idea is you'd be able to put in your repository, and we would go through your package lock, and we would find all the packages that you use, any of them that are open sourced or available. We will download their change logs and summarize them for you. And if we detect any breaking changes, we would let you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic project. It's just to have some fun with Supabase. Okay.
All right, so booting up a Nest app.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do it in the same folder as the next JS app.
Okay.
Typically, I separate them. Like when I use Turbo Repo, I have a Turbo Repo apps or front end usually. Like I have a front end workspace, I have a API workspace,
Yep.
and I have a packages workspace. But just for fun, let's try to see if it could work alongside Next.
Why not?
We'll see. So we'll use PNPM because Turbo Repo kind of love PNPM, and I'm starting to like it as well. So we can use PNPM for that. So the command here was nest new, and then API, which is the name of the thing I want to create. So now we should have this little API folder, and we do. So let's take a look at this. We go to apps, and we close this up. Apps API, we have a brand new API here. Okay, so now if we restart this, it should boot up both of them. Maybe not actually. Okay, so what we need to do here will be to modify the package JSON. Just make sure it has a name. Okay, that seems correct. I believe there's another thing as well, is make sure it has a dev command, which Nest tends to come with start dev as opposed to dev. So we're just going to create a dev thing, and we're just going to call the same thing, whatever. I mean, I could also do that, but I don't want to. Let's do this. It's kind of clean. We go. I have an extra thing here. Okay, so now that we have the dev script, Turbo Repo should be picking it up, and it does. It's trying to start on 3000 though, so it's going to be a problem with Next.
Yep.
So we're going to try and change that. So we'll go into the API here. There should be a main.ts, and we can change that port right there. Oh, there you go. That should start on 4000. 4000. There we go. We're rolling. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. If we work with an API, there's a tool that I like to use called HTTPy. And it's pretty nice. HTTPy.
And what's it for?
Just running queries against an API. So here in this case, you can just call this and you get hello world. So this is our API.
Interesting. So it's similar to Postman then?
It's a Postman simplified. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of Postman. One of them that's kind of annoying, and I posted a message in the Discord already to request that feature, is that you cannot have parameters here. And that is pretty annoying. Like if you wanted to do like users / ID like you would do in Postman, like this ID would show up somewhere. Here you have no way to do it. The only way you can do it is if you use a query param. So that would work. But that's the only option you have. And it's pretty annoying. I don't know why it is like that. But yeah. Apart from
I'm
that,
going to be creating a little client to connect to you in the back there. What do I need to send you?
Well, there's what do you need? It's an HTTP request, so you can send me whatever you want.
I assume, an auth header that has some sort of cookie that from Supabase?
Yes, so Supabase, we're going to have to do something a little weird with Supabase. But basically on the front end, there should be an auth. Actually, let me find cursor here. Okay, so if we go here, web, can I get a basic file just to play around with the client? Where do we have the client in here?
Okay, so I do have a Supabase auth token?
Here, like we have the client here, so I'm just going to use that for now, just for fun. But basically, I believe it's supabase.auth, and there's get session. There you go. So you would need to do this, and this will return you like the access token.
Okay.
And that's the token you need to pass through as an authorization header.
Okay, sounds good. I will
Right?
set that up.
Because yeah, just the cookie is not going to cut it here. So you need to send the authorization header. But then on the Nest.js side, what we need to do is basically set up the Nest.js client as well. But on the API side, we'll use the other key. So you know when you set up Supabase, you have two different keys. You have the anon key, which this one is browser safe. You can kind of use it in the browser. And then you have the service role key. And those are safe because I'm on local right now, so those are completely fine. But the one we want to use on the API is the service role key. And that one basically has like admin powers, you know, you can do whatever the hell you want with this. And so that's the one you want to use when you get that authorization thing. And then you use that service role key to kind of check if that token actually belongs to a user of some kind in your database, right?
Okay, so that's on your side then.
That's on my side. It's like a guard. And then if it does, then great. If it doesn't, then meh, you know? So you kind of just verify that. I might need to refer to some app that I built in the past to do that because I don't necessarily remember exactly how I did it, but we'll figure it out as we go. So yeah, we can use this token here. Okay, so now we have an Nest.js API. Let's see, what do we have in there? We have an app controller. We can probably get rid of that at some point. The app module as well, the app service as well. Okay, so all we need is basically this, the app module, and the service and the controller. We can pretty much get rid of that if we want to. So let's actually get rid of it right now. There you go. Just gonna get rid of it. Up. I'm also switching editor, so it's pretty tricky because I'm not super familiar with this one yet. Okay, so let's delete these guys. Let's see if our API starts still. Yeah, all good. Okay, so we have our app module. So Nest.js, we can use NestG to generate a bunch of stuff with Nest.js. So this way you don't have to, worry too much. So what are we gonna need here? We're probably gonna need a guard. And ideally, maybe a module for Supabase. Yeah, it's probably pretty common indeed. Let me think a little bit. So we have Supabase, so we'll need a module there. Maybe just a service would work. And then we'll need a guard for that token and create kind of a thing so we can double check that the token exists. And then some kind of controller where we do something, So let's recreate another controller, I guess, and another module. Maybe we can call that module package because that's pretty much what we're going to check in the beginning, right? So let's do that. Let's do NestG module, and we'll call it packages. Just do that, and then we know it's going to have a controller, so we could just put a controller here for packages as well. And then it will have a service too. So let's do service packages. Okay, so that should have kind of added the things. Did it? Well, yeah, but I was in the wrong folder, so it kind of added them weird. Okay, let me move that where it belongs. There you go. Boop. Okay, app module, and then so we have a provider here, and we'll need to do packages module. Slow down. And we should be good. So the packages module should have the packages controller, the packages service, so that is good. And then for the controller, let's just build a basic route. So we'll do add get whatever. We'll just do that. Async get packages and just return an empty array for now. That's gonna be fine. We can do that. So now if we go to HTTP Pi, you go to localhost 1000 packages, and it cannot be found. Did it restart? Yeah, it did. Interesting. What am I missing here? Oh, maybe it wants me to do this. It's a possibility. No, still 404. Localhost 4000. Whatever. What the hell? The packages module. Okay. Packages module. Packages controller. Controller packages. Blah, blah, blah. Come on, buddy. What the hell? Doesn't want to. Am I missing something here? Did it create it twice or something? No. Yeah, no, there's something off here. That's pretty strange. Oh, maybe it's in here. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, there you go. I was just doing the wrong import here. That could help. Okay. There you go. We're all set up. So we have that. What else? Yeah, we could create that Supabase service. So for this, maybe we don't need a module necessarily. We can probably just do like a Supabase service and just load that in. I mean, the module would be nice still. So yeah, let's do that. So G, let's do module Supabase. And I'm doing the same mistake again. So let's delete that real quick. And then let's go into API so that it generates them properly. There you go. The Supabase, and then let's do a service Supabase. Oop. There you go. So now we have our Supabase folder here. We're probably going to need the Supabase SDK, which we're going to need to bring in. And then we'll need a .env as well at some point. So I'll just create a .env.example for now. And we'll need two different things. So we'll have the Supabase URL, and then we'll have a Supabase service role key. Service role key. So that's something that we have later. Okay, let's try to pull, whoa, I'm in caps. Let's try to pull in Supabase. What is the Supabase SDK again? Boop, boop. Let's see, npm Supabase. I believe it's just Supabase. Oh. I don't know. It's Supabase.js. So it is different. It is different. Okay, so let's grab that. Come on, let me copy just this part. There you go. Supabase install Supabase.js. There you go. Do that. Boom. And now we have Supabase. Let's just double check what they did inside of here. Supabase.js. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So let me just pull in an old project of mine so I can see like what kind of setup I usually like. I swear I did a package at some point about this.
Oh, really?
Like I had the Supabase webhook, which is like this package, but this one only takes care of webhooks. Like I don't have a guard for Supabase. I just have a bunch of webhooks, so it's pretty complex to kind of pull in this just for the authentication. Like if we were dealing with Supabase webhooks and stuff, sure. But just for our use case here, it would be maybe a little too complex. But it could be interesting to see how I pulled in the Supabase client. but I believe I just build it like straight up. Oh, I'm not even building the client here because I'm just looking at the signature of the webhook. So it should be a different. Okay, so that one is not the one I want. It's another one. So we need to find another thing. Let me see. Supabase webhook. What is this project that I did this on? I don't remember. Damn it. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. Okay, well, whatever. We'll just create a guard in this case, and it will be fine. Yeah, we'll just do that. Whatever. So maybe we don't need all that module and all that stuff. We'll just create a basic guard. And it will work fine. So I could probably just create it in here. Just do like supabase.guard.ts just to make sure that we say that it's a guard. So I think the Nest.js API has some Nest.js guard. You can just like take a look at the docs here. Documentation is your friend. Okay, so we need some kind of thing like this. Maybe we don't need the observable. Your favorite, Cody, RxJS. So we're probably going to need to pull all those things in and then create a guard. Okay. So let's go. Export class Supabase guard. Oh, and look at that. Cursor is helping me. Great. Let's do that. Okay. So we don't have a Supabase service. However, what I can do is have a private read-only Supabase client, not take any parameter here, and just build it on the fly. So we can do this to Supabase, create client, and then this will come from Supabase, technically. I don't know why the import is not working here. That's interesting, because I do have Supabase installed. So why isn't it loading Supabase.js? That's interesting. Okay, so can activate, we'll deal with that later. We do have that initialization here with the Supabase URL, the service role key. Maybe we could use the anonymous key actually, if we're just checking the JWT. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, let's actually create a little like private method for this async, and then like initialize Supabase. So we'll just do, having a logger would be nice. Yeah, that could be a good idea. So let's do like private read only, and then we'll do logger, and then new logger. Just import that from this common. I like to create a little space here. I don't know why this is kind of, oh yeah, because it's missing this, but it's okay. Okay, so this, let's do a little logger log, initializing Supabase client. We'll do something like that. Let's check if we have the proper, I could use the config here, I guess. We could do like an inject config service. Just grab the config service, but I would need the config service from Nest.js. So what is it? Nest.js config, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, there you go. Nest.js config. We can load that, and then this one will be in, is it an import as well? I don't remember. Nest.js config, let's see if it's an import. Configuration, Nest.js config, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the one we need. Oop. Let's do that. Okay, I missed your question here, Uranium. Does the Supabase client need to be a singleton? It could be. It could be, but it's fairly cheap to instantiate it, so it's not a big deal. If you use something like Nest.js with the dependency injection, you could get away with like having that singleton just being ejected or something like that. But yeah, it's really up to you. It's not a massive like performance hit if you just build that client every time.
And the other thing to note too is if you look at the Next.js actions folder, they create a client per action.
Per action.
If you go over to the Next.js code, if you still have it open. Oh, of course you do. And you click app actions, it'll be, yeah, there you go. And if you
This
look,
guy,
yeah, but they do it per action.
yeah. But they have this method here, right? And so this
Yep.
method is basically building it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
This one particularly is coming from SSR, but like it's not a big performance hit. Like it's just basically creating an object with the API keys, so that you can call Supabase and it injects your API keys into it. It's very basic. So it's usually fine. But yeah, Nest.js anyway, if you use it like I did in this guard here, that's dependency injection for the config service at least, and then you can create that client. But if you wanted to, you could create a service, instantiate it once at the beginning, and then just inject it inside of your controller here. So I could potentially do like inject Supabase service right here. But here I'm expecting that only this guard will be the one interacting with Supabase so far. So it's not that big of a deal. We can probably refactor that later if we see that it becomes an issue, but I don't think it would. So right now we can just do that, but I'd like to do this function here just to make sure that we have the proper config and everything, because here if I just instantiate this client like right off the bat, we might have some issue with something saying, hey, this config doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. So we just want to make sure that everything kind of exists properly. So we'll do this config service here, which I'm just going to name config because I don't like hit being named config service. I'm going to import that from next config, and then in here you can say if it exists, and I'm going to separate those so we can check for both. There you go. So we'll just do this is not set. There you go. Cursor is understanding what I'm trying to do here. But I think we can get away with just the anon key. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try the anon key instead, because I think for just checking that JWT, we probably don't need to do much. And then we instantiate that client, right? Like this, the Supabase client, and we can call this guy right there. And it would be this, obviously. This. So that is something we could potentially do. It does have to be kind of a static thing. Did I forget that thing? Yeah, there you go. It doesn't have to be async. However, we could say that it returns a Supabase client. That would be nice. Oop. There you go. And we could just return it here instead of assigning it. There you go. So we have that up. We can import inject so we can get our config service properly. And then what is it here? Here we're not reading Supabase yet, but we will do that. So what do we do in here? So we know we need to return a Boolean because that's what the guard does. It's like, do you have access or not, right? So we kind of need to do that. So we'll get the request. We'll grab the token from the authorization header, and we can method, I guess, just to make sure we can isolate the logic here. Let's see. Yeah, we could do that. So const token, I think we can extract pretty easily, but let's see. There's going to have a bearer in front of it. So we might need to do a split here.
What's your route?
what's my route? So right now it's /packages.
Packages? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we split here the header because what we're going to receive is basically like this authentication header, which usually looks like this, and then it has like bearer, and then it will have the token that Cody is going to pass through. So that's what we need to capture, is like this little token here. So we just do a basic split. We just do that. Maybe we could say if there's no token, then throw an error, maybe, or just return false, I guess. That means you're not authenticated. Here, cursor is trying to do some logic for me. I guess that's an option. Get user token. Yeah, we could do that. I think it's data.user though. But we could check the error here. If there's an error, we also return false. Otherwise, we have request.user, data user. We can return true. Ah, that seems about right. I think cursor got it spot on here.
Nice.
I'm gonna keep that. It seems pretty normal to me, so we're just gonna do that. Okay, so we need to create a new file that's gonna be a .env in here, and then so here we said we wanted to change to the anonymous key. We're just gonna paste that here, and then I'm gonna grab the Supabase local stuff. I need to roll back here. Supabase status. Okay, so the anon key is right there. Oh. And then the API URL is this guy. There you go. I just did that. That should work fine. Okay, so now we just need to make sure that we have the guard being applied. So let me refresh my memory here. We're gonna go again, Nest.js guard. Just like refresh my memory on how to actually consume this thing. I might need this as well because otherwise I won't be able to use it. Pop it up. There you go. That could help. Okay, execution context, blah, 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 observable boolean. And this is another guard, and then uses guard. There you go. Well, that's pretty basic. Okay, so we'll go into this controller. Uses guard. And you can put the Supabase guard. And it's actually uses guard. Is it uses guard or use guards? It's use guards. Okay. Okay, so now if we go into HTTP pies, do we have an error? Well, we do. It's pretty nasty. What is it saying here? Packages module, is it valid? Blah, blah, blah. Config service is a provider. Yes. So I forgot to put the config service into the package module, which could be helpful because it does consume it. So we might need to import this guy here. There you go. Okay. Boom. So we have an internal server error. It's not able to do split. It's not able to do split because it doesn't have an authorization header at all. So let's put a better logic here. So cursor only went so far. Haha. But it didn't like fully do that properly. Maybe we can use TypeScript to do like something like that. Split. And then, oh yeah, I could probably get away with something like this. And then here I could just do this because I don't care about bearer and just put token. That should do the trick. Let's see. Yeah, there you go, forbidden. Yay. Okay, so now I just need to find a token and see if it works. Or I can push that, Cody, if you want, and we can transition to you, and you can try to send me a request there. What do you want to do?
Let me push mine and you can pull it.
Want to do that?
The only thing is I'm still trying to figure out how to get that token.
Supabase.auth.get session.
Yeah, I did that.
There's an
I'm
access token in
looking
there.
I'm looking at what I get back, and it looks like I just get a Supabase client, which is kind of weird.
You should get
Unless I
the.
console logged the wrong thing. Oh, I did. My bad. Supabase.auth.get session. Okay.
Yeah, because you should get a token, technically. Yeah. So I think that was the part that you were curious about, Uranium Cat. I think it's a different nickname than last week.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that was the part that we were kind of curious about, which is like how to validate that token with Supabase. And that's basically it. It's just like calling Supabase and kind of like getting this user based on the token. Nice. So yeah, you send the token from your front end. This will be like some kind of JWT, and then you pass it to get user here. You can see that it's accepting like a JWT. And then if it returns an error, then if it throws an error, there's no user. And if it returns a user, then your user exists. So that's pretty much how it works. But I would need to wait on Cody to send me his code so I can try it out.
Yeah, this is not working. Get session is not working.
It's not working. Well, you can always push what you have and we can debug it live on my side.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. That'll actually work out because you have the API working.
The part I was curious about also includes handling DB in the Nest side, using Supabase only for auth, because you need to have some relationship between users and they're not in Supabase. Yeah, so that's why we did with Cody what we did last week is like kind of adding this migration here. So this migration creates a user table in our database. We do use Supabase for the database here in this case. If you have another DB, you could always do something like having the users here and have a trigger that would trigger a webhook, and then your app could just grab this webhook and then add your user into your database. But generally, like if you use Supabase auth, it's probably recommended to use Supabase Postgres as well, so it's easier. But it's still possible. Yeah, you could just listen to the event when a new user is creating in Supabase, and then instead of that trigger triggering this function here to create a record in that table, you would just trigger a webhook instead and call your API with like a specific endpoint. There's a whole like webhook signature thing that you have to do. I actually posted a video about this on my YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com, bite the fox, and I can share that actually in the chat once I have the video. But I explained how to secure webhooks with HMAX signatures coming from Supabase. And this is using actually an SJS API behind the scene as well. So you can take a look at this video if it helps.
So wait, you just want to use Supabase for auth.
Yeah.
You have a separate database. Okay.
So separate database, yeah, you need to send a webhook. So you listen to the auth event that Supabase triggers. You need to use a little bit of the Supabase Postgres just to trigger that webhook. And then you trigger that webhook with all your user information. You save that into a user table in your own like API or whatever. And then this way you can link users to other resources in your database. And then if you use Prisma or Drizzle or whatever else to interact with your database, you can just do that in SJS as soon as the user is authenticated. Another option is if you don't need to do like a direct connection, like for example, if your app doesn't necessarily need to load information about other users or whatever, You could just put the user ID in your database, and then you just know how to query based on user ID. But it depends on your app, I guess, what it's trying to do.
Yeah, that makes
There are
sense.
different things, but it's totally okay to store like an ID and not have a relationship, right? Like it sounds a little weird in the beginning because especially if we're used to building like a monolithic application, it's a little strange to think like I have this ID, but this ID is handled by another system somewhere else, and that is a little weird in the beginning. But if you work with microservices, it's pretty common. Yeah, um, you would do that quite often. But it leads to another set of problems, which is what happens if that ID doesn't exist anymore. You kind of have to keep everything in syncs with webhook and whatever, or like some kind of event. If you use Redis, you can send like events through. Nest.js is actually pretty good for that when it comes to microservices. So if you go, I think it's somewhere in the docs. Where is it? Techniques? No, it's not there. It's not there. Microservices. There you go. So you can use a load of different things. So the very basic one would be like TCP, I believe. So you just use TCP. So you host all your microservices into a cluster, and those services can kind of call functions from one another. So that over TCP. So that's pretty interesting. Another option, if they're not necessarily in the same cluster or whatever, is to use Redis as a messenger. And you would just use Redis as like a pub sub, basically. So one microservice is like, hey, this order from this user, or whatever. And then you send a message like, hey, whatever. And then all the other microservices can kind of listen to that. But this is like way overloaded for most applications. But yeah, it's an option you have.
All right, I pushed to main if you want to pull that.
You push to main. Okay, well, I would need to commit what I did so far. So I will commit that, and I will do a crazy git add. Oh yeah, I need to remove this. Just give me a sec. Because the problem with Nest is that it creates a repo every time. There you go.
Yep.
Up. So git add. Boom. Now if we do like status, there's a bunch of stuff. And now we can do git push feature create Nest.js API. There you go. There you go. So I'm just going to put that into API. There you go. And then I'm going to delete that main branch real quick. And just pull it again. Boop. There you go. Yep. And now I can just merge API. That should work fine. There you go. Problem solved.
All right. In your env.local, you just have to add a next public API URL.
I had to add some stuff. Okay, so here, env.local. Well, I have a .env. So you need this guy?
You have you don't have an env.local. Interesting.
This guy? That's the one you were talking about?
No. I've got more secrets than you do. Let me send this to you.
Did you put them in the... So I didn't put the GitHub secret webhook yet, so we don't have that. Supabase URL. That's the wrong one. Up. It's the API, it's here. So did you share that on Discord, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, okay.
if that's for your API, yeah, for your web, yeah, you're good.
You got a lot more. Okay. Boop. Like this. Okay.
Perfect.
What's this API port?
I didn't know what you had your port as.
4000.
Okay. There you
go. Okay. So that is good. Let's run it again. Whoop. Did you pull any new like packages or whatever? No.
No.
Okay. Cool. So let's see. Let's see what you were up to.
It's super simple. I mainly just watched you.
That's what you were up to.
All right, so go into this file. This is the API client.
All right. So what is it? API client. Cool.
It's just going to complain because of headers.
So
Okay,
it's
so
this.
yeah, so this is where I'm getting the session.
Okay, so in here you don't have an access token at all.
No, I didn't see one. I was trying to log it, and I was getting an error because I didn't have an API running. So
Okay, so let's do like Supabase get session. Let's try to look for it. Get session, blah 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 blah. Refresh session.
oh, it's a data error. It's an object,
Yeah, it should be.
and then you can pull session out of data.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
so
that
you could
makes sense.
just do that and then data session, and you can have error here if you want. All right. So now let's see what we get.
It's complaining about the headers.
Yeah,
Doesn't like
but
my init.
I just want to find that like console log that you had, because you put a console log at some point.
I don't think it makes it.
It doesn't make it.
No, you can just pull my auth header function out and it'll console log.
This guy.
Line 25.
But it's
I have
here
dot
mostly.
get auth header. Yeah, so it's complaining there because I'm putting my auth header in, I think.
Okay, let's do that for now.
Yeah, there you go. You still have to call it though if you want to see the console log.
Oh, you didn't call it?
Well, you just pulled the call.
What?
You just cut it, right? Like undo what you just did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You just cut that, and
Uh,
you just have to call it. Just literally call it, and it'll console log.
Yeah, I'll just do that for now. This way, it'll just ignore whatever. Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Go bloop. Let's see. Where's my browser? Here. Oof. Let's see what we have. Packages. Oh, it's still not showing me. Oh no. Okay. So you don't have any session whatsoever here. Are you on the server here or?
Oh, we are on the server. Grab the server Supabase client. Yeah, I originally did it as client, but that makes sense. I called it in the server.
Yeah, but it's there you go. Now I get an access token.
All right, there we go.
Right. So that's what we need.
That makes sense. I was thinking I would call it from the front end in a hook or something, but yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's good to know. Like this way, we can do like if not session, right?
Yep.
Just return like empty arrays, and then we'll just we'll just let this API call fail in the option where the authorization doesn't exist. Otherwise, we'll do this, and actually we can also do like or session access token doesn't exist, or if there's an error of any kind, and we can probably fetch the error if there is any. There you go, something like that. That's some kind of basic error handling.
There you go.
Okay, so now it's doing some stuff. Let's see what it's doing. Actually, it's not doing anything because we're calling it
Because you're not sending the
we're
header
calling
through
it separately. So now we need to get rid of that, and then just have get auth header. Okay, and then this guy is complaining for some reason.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but
What is it complaining about?
there you go. No, didn't.
Let's see what AI has to say. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's probably just not dealing with this very well.
Right. The type of it.
Yeah.
I just put it as any for now. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay. Bloop, bloop. Okay, fetch URL init is not a symbol, which cannot be converted to a DOM string. Thank you, React. What is this error? What the hell?
All right. Well, in that case, just change that function to return the session token, the access token, and just put the header in yourself.
But I think the headers are okay. I don't think the headers are the issue. Because I think your headers are good. Oh no, header constructor init is a symbol. Yeah, so okay, let's see. It's this guy that's being a dick. Right? Like it's this dude.
Oh. Just put any or something.
Yeah, I mean, do you need this interface here?
Probably not.
I'm surprised like the fetch doesn't have like a type definition by default. It does. There's like a request in it.
Yeah. You can change it. Then you're just gonna have to pull the the headers from it.
Let's just do that. Just do that, and then we'll take off this, and then this. We could potentially do like a string any, whatever, just to make it interesting. But we still have this init is a symbol, cannot be converted to a DOM string. I think it's because this doesn't. I have a feeling it's this. I don't know why. Maybe not. Okay, so it's not this. Let's see. So if we put like
Let's just make it simple then, and just do the fetch from the front.
Now it's packages. Okay. So now we do this, and we keep these two. Wait, what is freaking?
You're in an edit mode of some sort.
Yeah. And it is not a symbol. Yeah, it's not liking at all this like headers thing. Or maybe it's this that it's not liking. No, it's not that. Okay. Well, whatever. We'll just try it. We could just try it like this. The content type here, right?
Yep.
And then for the auth headers, we could just like
spread it in.
Spread it in there. There you go. Do something like that.
Oh, well, look at that. He doesn't like it. Return as any. Put that as any.
Like here?
At the very end, I think. Oh, you can do that too.
Yeah, but you have a promise, so you could do this. And then instead of returning a record, you just do that thing.
No, it's
but the problem is, you see, you have an async here, so this is what you need.
Yes.
With a space, that's going to help. Yeah,
there you go. It's probably what you need at the top, actually.
Yeah, so most likely we could have done it here. Yeah, let's try it like this. And then let's keep what you had here. Up, there you go.
Look at that.
Okay, so now we still have this error. That's because the endpoint doesn't exist. So you have an extra slash in your endpoint here.
Yep.
So where did you set up that endpoint?
That will be
Fetch
base URL. So the question is, what did you set the base URL as? Did you put it in /?
Maybe.
I don't typically put /.
That's the basic API URL here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can show all these anyways. Yeah, there you go. Get rid of that.
Go to clocking. Okay. Hello world. Unexpected token hello world is not valid JSON. That is okay. I can fix that pretty quickly. I could just go here, just do a different controller, and just do hello world. That is valid JSON. There you go. And now we called it. We have the data. It's
All
not
right.
showing anything, but it's going through. I don't think we have any error. Oh, maybe. No, 200. Yeah, so it's going through. All right. So now the real question is, if we don't put that header,
Will it fail?
Do we have the expected behavior? Yeah. So if I do like return nothing. Aha, forbidden resource. Yeah, okay, so we're good.
There you go, uranium. Set up with auth.
Nice. There you go. So that's how we authenticate with Supabase in an SJS application. So it's just a guard, pretty basic. The code of this repo will be open sourced anyway because it's part of the rules of the hackathon. So yeah, you'll be able to reference that later on. No problem there. So what's our next step, Cody?
Well, next step is...
Ooh, hello, Naz.
Yeah, Naz is in the chat. Next step is actually fetching the packages.
Actually fetching the packages. Yes, so that's when we have to deal with NPM. Oh, that's got to be fun. Okay, so apparently they have this endpoint search. So maybe you can use that and we'll see where it goes. The question is, what the heck is the NPM API endpoint? That would be nice to know. Because I do not.
Fair. No. Oh, and by the way, we don't need to continue with Nest. We can now go right to Next.js if you'd like.
That's okay. We have the Nest now. So.
You really want to publish both, though?
I mean, the role of the hackathon is you can use whatever. It's just
True.
you have to use Supabase. So let's see, API endpoint, because I need to know what the fuck is the API endpoint. What is it? What is it? Oh, that's GitLab. No, thank you, GitLab. Oh, yeah, I guess. It's probably this. I don't know why I'm overly complicated thing. Okay, so what is the endpoint again? Underscore v1 search. Okay, so let's try that in here. So if we do this, and we do this weird thing, and then they have v1 search, and then what kind of parameters does it take this thing? It takes a text query, full text to apply. Okay, so this text, and we could say next maybe. Okay, so we have some objects here. That's neat. It's pulling everything though with the search. But you might be able to just use that. So I think like it's wide open. There's no API token. So this endpoint should definitely be directly in Next. It will be more efficient.
Yep. And does it give us a link to the GitHub? Yes, it does. Perfect.
Yeah, you have a bunch of stuff in there.
That GitHub connection, though, are we going directly from the app as well?
We could, but you know, the GitHub connection. Since we want to allow people to add packages to their account,
mm-hmm.
and then we in the background go fetch the release notes and do some like kind of processing or whatever. Ideally, if we can give them like a differential between versions to say like, hey, between those two versions, these things have changed and there's like breaking changes here you need to know about.
Yep.
Then maybe all of that is probably easier in Nest, I guess, because we could potentially put that into a queue or whatever.
Yep.
Unless you want to use the tool that we kind of talked about this weekend, which is trigger the dev.
Right.
And we kind of trigger like a long running jobs from Next.js to this and just get the results there.
Yeah, that's up to you actually. If you think the Nest.js API can do it, we can. If you want to try this tool, let's do it.
Okay, so yeah, let's keep it like that for now.
All right. Did you want to push what you have so I can pull it?
For sure. So we'll do that. Fix connect to API. Oop, there you go. Do you want to switch to your screen, or what are we? What is the next step we're doing here? What are we
Next
doing?
step is going to be actually setting up that NPM, so we can switch to the screen if you want.
Okay, so let me put your screen on. Where are you? You're here. All right, welcome to Cody's. It might be a little blurry. I don't know. Uranium, let us know.
All right, I think Uranium left.
Or Naz, yeah. Let us know if it's like blurry there.
All right, I'm still getting. I'm getting failed to fetch because I'm not running everything. Oh, I need some of your secrets for the API.
For the GitHub API?
No, for the Nest.js.
Oh, it's just the API URL from the Supabase and the anonymous key.
The API URL from Supabase.
Yeah, there's a .env.example that you can pull in if you want.
All right. API. Yes. Okay. And I just created .env, right?
Yeah, just create a .env. I'm gonna try and fix your screen because apparently it is still blurry for some folks. What if I limit the frame rate a little bit? Maybe that would help.
And the Supabase URL, is that the top one? Yeah.
Nope, I'm just reloading your screen real quick here. Boop it up. Let's see. Is that better, Naz? Still blurry.
That's so weird. It must be because it's a browser stream. Yours is direct.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. Is it at least readable, Naz?
I think if you put, because I'm watching the stream at the same time on Twitch, I think if you put a decent like zoom, it should be like readable. We gotta zoom like hard.
Like this?
Maybe a bit more.
Like this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man. Oh man, this is gonna be brutal.
Naz, let us know whatever's readable for you.
Please tell me this is at least readable.
Awesome. Yeah, it is good now.
Is this at least readable?
It is good now. Yeah.
I went back one. I'm hoping it's okay.
All right. I'm gonna shut off my camera for a second. Just gonna go grab a drink.
All right.
I will be right back, Cody.
Oh, but I need that endpoint you.
Which endpoint?
The npm one. Can you just send that to me?
Oh, yes. Here. Up. It is this.
Perfect.
Okay. Let me shut off my camera real quick, and I'll just go pick up my drink. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, let's create one. I guess I don't actually need to do that. We can just do. Oh, actually, it'd be. Oh, packages reserved. There we go.
All right, folks.
All right, welcome back. Just created this quick little fetch package function.
Nice, nice, nice.
So let's go into a page. Not that page.
By the way, if you want to join us now, so you can, I can send you an invite so you can talk with us as opposed to be in the chat if you want.
Okay, so let's just try const. Let's just see what that gives us. Apparently I have no styles. Interesting.
Cool.
Oh, there we go.
Let me add you as a friend on Twitch. I don't think I have you.
Oh, I have to await it. All right, there you go. We are getting it.
Nice.
It comes as an object. Wait, it comes way different than that response you got.
Oh, it's because do a JSON stringify instead of in your console log.
Ah, perfect. Oh, it's so big. All right.
But yeah, we kind of have to parse the information that we need in there. But I think we just need to suggest like a list of packages. So all we care about is just the name of the things. You know?
Yeah, don't I need... So they're going to want to search... We'll hunt Next.js to get... Or sorry, NPM to get all the results. Like, what happens if I just did like NE? Does that return us a bunch?
Well, probably more, yeah. But it has a limit at some point. I think you can also use the size query param to limit to a specific thing. I think it limits to 20 by default.
Okay.
Which is probably more than enough, to be honest.
Yeah, because they're going to be specifically searching.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's create a form, I guess.
Okay, so how do we create a form? I think we have the input from Shatsian already. Might be able to leverage that.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Call this find package. We'll call this package. Let's do next. Why not? Don't need this. Do we want them to submit it? No, we want this on an on change, right? What is form message?
I think that's the error. If there are errors that come back, they just grab them. And
Oh, okay. Where does it come from, though?
There's a form message component inside of the components folder.
Oh, yeah. Form message. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's go back to this. Okay, so search params. Reset password action. Search param. I see. There's just when they click the button, it probably goes up. We don't want that. Okay. So let's do.
Actually, maybe Shatsian has a autocomplete kind of thing. So that could be interesting. Just to do like an autocomplete feature.
Oh, I just realized that if I want to have a state for this, it needs to be a client component. Damn it.
Or you could just extract the form, yeah.
Where are you putting your components? We just throwing them all into here?
Yeah, they seem to be throwing it straight into components, so let's do that for now. If it becomes like crazy, we'll do some cleanup.
Ah. Oops. Oh, what are you complaining about? Oh. So this is now a client component. I can't remember how server actions work in there. I can import it?
Yeah, I think you can import this.
I can import it as long as it's from another file, I think.
Call it. But I think you do have to put the use server on the top, though.
No.
No?
That's part of the action. This is a client-side component.
No, but in the action, yeah. In the action.
Oh, that's already done, though.
Okay.
It's all here, right? I'm just going to throw it in here. All right. Can you call a server? Yeah, I think you can.
It should work. I think that's the thing you can do.
I guess we don't need this to be on the server, though.
We don't know.
No, we don't. My bad.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it's a public API, you know.
Just do any for now. Okay. And this can actually just be handle search. Okay. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. I'm not sure why it's not going down. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. All right, so what do we need?
Just the name, I guess. We just show like a list of names. That's why I was saying maybe ShadCN has like an autocomplete component we can use.
An autocomplete component. For what?
For the input. So just show like which package you want to follow. Unless you want to show a list at the bottom.
Yeah. I thought we were going to do like essentially just list out all the packages it returns, and they can just checkbox the ones.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not sure why it's returning rollup.
It's because the description has next in it.
Oh. Okay. All right, let's try it. So we'll loop over data. What do I have here? Data. Am I missing a bracket? Yeah.
We could do some nice little ShadCN cards. There's one that's actually pretty cool on their demo page.
Seriously? Okay, let's just make data equal empty array. Oh, what the? Okay, there we go. Wait, what? Oh, that makes sense. Oh.
Ooh. Data map's not a function.
That's going to be because it failed. So we need to debounce this.
Do you have any magic Next.js debounce, or you just use like Lodash or just some debounce stuff?
Wait, why can't I? Oh, because that's root. How do I add to just...
-- filter web. So, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, filter web. Otherwise, you can go into the folder of your app and just pnpmi, but it's the same.
Interesting. Okay. So now we should be able to do import. Why is it not giving me my... Okay. Don't need that. I think that's right. We're just guessing, by the way. All right, that's a good sign. All right.
Nice.
Oh, because it's objects.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, now we're talking.
Okay. All right, so now we want to be able to toggle if we want this.
Yes, and that's where we're gonna need to build some table where we can keep track of which package
Yep.
is being followed. But I think, yeah, we should have a packages table, and we add a package like next, for example. And then we have another table that's like a subscription, and we just put the user being a follower of this package. This way we can just track the package once for every user.
Yep. Okay, so on the back end, I need to be able to send you a list of packages to follow.
A list of packages to follow. Okay.
But the question is how do you want me to send them? I can't really send Next.js. You know, I can't just send next.
Well, yeah, you could send. What is the response? What does it give you? Like you have a name and you have the scope,
Version, some links to it.
No. So what would be nice is to reconstruct the name of the package, and if there is a scope, just add the scope to it, and then we save that package in as a text in our database. Right. So here next it doesn't have a scope, so we just say next. But if you pulled in like Supabase JS, it has a scope Supabase, so it would be like scope Supabase.
Does it?
Yeah. I'll search Supabase. You'll see. Actually, it should do that.
Unscoped.
No, the Supabase JS is scoped. The second one.
Ah, yes.
Right.
Okay.
So we could do that.
So you want me to send you name and scope?
Yeah.
Okay.
Name and scope. But do you still want to do it in the Nest.js? Yeah.
I don't think we have to.
Because that we could do straight in Next. It will be easier.
Yep.
So let's just do that.
All right. Did you want to build the table?
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. You want to share your screen then?
Yes. Let me roll back here. Can you push the same changes, and I'll pull them on my side.
Yes, I will.
And I will switch our screen. Yep. Well, I'll come back to my screen.
Okay, pushed.
Sweet. So let's just pull it in. All right. We're rolling. Okay, I'll just restart. Boop. Okay. So let's go onto Supabase Studio and then just create a table here. So we have a users table. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll create a new table. We'll call this one packages. Let's do a column. I think we could put the name. This is not null because we need at least the name of the package.
Makes sense.
For the scope, I'll do the same, but it will be nullable because maybe there's no scope. And for now, I think it's okay. We can keep that this way.
Okay.
So
you're just going to do it int 8
this table
for the ID?
Yeah, just regular like ID. Yeah.
Okay.
And then here we'll do a package underscore user, and that's like a connection between the two.
Yep.
So you'll have a user ID. This one is UUID, I believe. We don't need to generate a random one. Not nullable. However, this is a primary key. And then we'll do a package ID. And that one will be int 8. It is a primary key as well.
Oh, primary keys here non-nullable. There you go.
Yeah, I just don't understand why I still have the check mark here. There you go.
Interesting.
So yeah, we just do that composite primary key. So you see, like Supabase notice this. So then we'll be able to use that relationship with Supabase when we do the queries.
Yep.
So that's
Do you not have to
cool.
foreign key that user ID?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So we'll do the foreign key on the user ID. That is user ID 2. We don't have to update here. We can put a cascade if it gets deleted. Let's do that, and then we'll do another one here. That would be package ID, and same thing. We'll just cascade if it disappears for some reason. There you go. So
Perfect.
Those are our columns. We have everything we need. We can save that. We have a little issue here. There's no unique constraint matching given keys for referencing to user. Public users, user ID. What? What do you mean unique?
If you... Oh, wait, you don't have the gear this time.
Public user. Wait, what is the error again? There's no unique constraint matching given keys for reference table users.
So you're not saying that user ID has to be unique?
Yes, because they all have to be unique together. I don't know how to do that in the interface. Can I do it from here? No, that's funky. Yeah, I don't know how to do it in the interface.
SQL editor?
Actually, have you seen this? Supabase actually released this recently. It's pretty cool. Postgres.new. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Awesome. This is awesome. So I'm just going to sign in real quick. There you go. So you sign in with GitHub. You can kind of create a new DB or whatever. And then you can message, right? So I need 3 tables. Users, packages, and package user. Each user can have let's do many packages, and each package can have many users. User table has the following column. Up, you can say like ID, UUID. What else do we have in there? We have username, we have name, whatever. Packages table has the following columns. You can just say like ID, this one is an in8. And then we have name scope. This one is null. And package user table has the following column. And then you can say ID, user ID, foreign key to users. You can say package ID, foreign key to packages, and then create it. Boom. And this will basically like create a shadow database and like the model and everything. And it can give you the queries to actually run this.
What?
Which is pretty cool. And then you can ask it to modify your database. So you can say like I would like ID, user ID, and package ID to be a composite primary key on the package user table. And this would just like make the update for you. And then you can just go to migrations here and you have your migration right there.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. They released that recently. I've been playing around with it. It's pretty nice. Okay, so we have this ID. It is a big int. We'll keep it like that. References ID, blah, 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 as identity. So let's run this query first. And this one is still failing. I don't know what is wrong with our primary key here. There's something off with the user table. There's something off with this table.
It's not a primary key. Look.
Yeah, all that would help.
There you go.
Okay, so now this one should be fine. Okay, we're good. Okay, and then we'll just add a composite key right here, just to make sure that all of those are.
You have to drop that constraint, I think?
Yeah, probably. Oh, there you go. Okay, so now we have that package user, and you can see all of those are primary keys.
Nice.
Right. So we're good to go. We can create that migration. So let's take a look at what Supabase actually did in terms of query. So Supabase DB diff to kind of get a differential. So we should have 4 modifications: adding the primary key to users table, adding the packages user table, adding the packages table, and then adding the composite key, and then all the other grants that Supabase does. But those are like extra.
Yep.
Extra stuff. Okay, so I'll just run that. I'll just do db diff create packages tables, and we'll just save that as a migration. This way we can pull it in as well. They're gonna have to give me a hand on the Next.js side because I'm more of a Vue person. I'm not too familiar with React yet, but let's see if I can make it happen.
Oh, you should just delete this. We'll build it in Vue.
You're not gonna like it if you did. One day we'll do a stream React versus Vue. Okay, so web. What do we do? So you created that page.
Yes. So
I need to install some dependencies. So we'll do that. Up. Okay, so I have this, and now we can search Supabase. That's showing us Supabase. Okay. So then you want a UI here, and then when they select it, we save the packages.
We're going to want to give them a multi-select, right? We
Yeah, I
almost
mean,
want them to be able to search, and then when they click a checkbox, it stays there.
it stays there.
Right? So we just have to store it in state, which is fine. And then they can just keep searching, and that one will just be pinned there because it's saved in their so-called watch list. And then they can click save.
Okay, so shall we have like a watch list or something? What kind of interface?
Yes. So go to the protected page.
Yeah.
In the code.
Oh, in the code.
And actually, I think we should probably go to ShadCN and see if they've got a checkbox card. They must have one.
These are not used. ShadCN, they should have a toggle. We could use a toggle.
They've got a checkbox, but do they have like a checkbox card?
No, but they have a toggle.
They do have a checkbox card. If you look at their, if you scroll down, oh, you could do that too. Yeah, we could do that.
See, like if we go into
it doesn't really
blocks,
matter which one we do.
Go into blocks. There's a bunch of stuff. Browse blocks. Let's see, a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, let's see what they got.
Otherwise, we can try and V0 it.
Oh, that could be cool. Honestly, I think we can just get away with the form one. If you go components and you click or search checkbox, doesn't matter which one. Scroll down a little bit more, a little bit up. There you go. You see that? That's all we really need.
So what are they using in there?
We can't take all their code because I think they're using React Hook Form.
React Hook Form, yeah.
And we want server component. So
is that a problem?
We just need the checkbox. It's got form control, form label. Oh, they have form item, form.
I mean, we can just take these class names and then we'll do it.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, if it's just replicating this. So I think what we need is just install the checkbox. So we have the checkbox. So let's do that. Let's go into app web. Let's just pull in this checkbox.
Oh, so there's no way to run that, hey? From the workstation or
from the root? No.
Yeah.
And you see, because npm, yeah, that's the only problem. Like if you use npm, you kind of have to do these things. But you can also pick.
You're the one that wanted to use pnpm.
I like it. I like it. It's kind of nice. You know, especially when you do like pnpm ls.
By the way, ShadCN has a download with pnpm.
Does it?
Yes, you can click on their checkbox, and you should be able to.
Because I only see npx here.
Oh, maybe they don't have it.
And this is npm for sure. So.
Does Radix have it? I could have sworn I saw it.
I don't know if Radix UI has it. Hello, Freedom. Yes, we are using some ShadCN right here. We are wondering why it doesn't work with pnpm. But apart from that, everything's good. Yeah, they do have all three for Radix. Yeah. But we don't necessarily have it for ShadCN. But it's okay. Like we can do the manual install. Like all it is you do this, and then you grab this and you put it as a component, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not the end of the world. Okay, so let's go into
The other thing you could do
components.
is
Right. And we
delete
actually
your
have
lock and
we have
reinstall
it
with
here
npm.
already. So we have that checkbox. Okay, so now we just need to find a way to list your packages nicely.
Oh, that's easy. So basically, let's go back. Yeah, go into find package form.
It's in the form.
Yeah, so I already got the watch list at the top. So we just have to make this into a card.
Yeah. I'd like to make sure that this stays in place because I don't like the fact that it's like right in the middle here. It's weird. What if you put it in the next photo on this? I know it's going to be the same thing. Nothing's left. No, something. So where does this form stop? It stops here. Okay, and then in terms of the page, you have a W4. Typically, it's max 7XL, I believe. And then this one could be an XOTO. We have a flex call. You could do a. Is it justified or item start? It's one of them. Probably justify. Justify start. Not even. Okay.
Don't mess with her now. We can fix it after.
Oh, it doesn't even go all the way. So what the heck is going on with this layout? Flex call max. Oh, probably missing that, eh? Yeah. That would help. There you go.
All right.
There you go. So now it's kind of like staying here, and we can do Supabase, and we have some
Perfect.
elements. So now let's see if we can style these. What do we have? You have some border here. Yeah. I mean, maybe we can grab this and actually put it here. I don't see why not. And then instead of border L, we just do border. This way we have a full border, border 2. There you go. Could do a little rounded so it's not completely disgusting. Okay, let's put some padding. Maybe PX3 and then PY4. Something nice. There you go.
There you go.
I do not like that color though, so I'll just go with something different here if you don't mind. Something like that. I don't like that gray though. What is the config of Chatcien? Where's Chatcien?
I think if we have it at slate. Neutral.
Interesting. Is there a neutral color? Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
No, there is. That's interesting. Yeah, it exists. Better. It exists. However, you do have a P4 here, which creates a thing. So that means that it would be nice to wrap that up like this. And then actually make this guy an li. So we can have like some class name here and then have a px4. And then we could have a space y4. Oh, there you go. And then w4. This way it's completely full. This form is limited to MD, but I'd like this guy to go all the way, but actually, there you go. We could do something like that.
Okay. Then we just need a checkbox.
This, I'd like to make this a span. It doesn't need to be a div. Yeah, there you go. And now we need that checkbox. So the checkbox, I think we have the component already. The checkbox.
Yep. Ooh. Should be on the other side.
Okay. Let me search something. Supabase. I don't see the checkbox. So am I missing some stuff? Maybe I am. Let's see how they use the checkbox. Like this. So yeah, it should work.
Yeah, it should work.
the box ID term, blah blah blah. Is it because it's inside?
Oh, I don't think you can see it. It's underneath.
Underneath?
You have flex call on the LI.
Oh shit. Yeah. Let's not do that. Let's do item center. Justify between. Let's do that. So now it's on the side, but it still doesn't show. So, you know.
Yeah, what's the deal there?
Let's inspect this little guy here. We do have button unchecked. And it has zero appearance whatsoever.
What's its background by default?
Border primary. I don't see any background pluses so far. Oh, background primary. For check.
What's our primary color?
Yes.
Did you copy paste that in?
No, I just used the one that was pulled in.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't use that then. Go to let's see the code.
I just used the one that was pulled in. So it's this guy.
Oh, it is border primary. You want to change that to the gray or whatever? I don't think we have primary.
Yeah, it's just not loading. It's just not there. I think we do have primary. I think it just defaults to neutral, so it's like going to be a weird thing. But I think it's just not showing for some reason. So am I importing the right one? No, I'm not. There you go. That's
Okay.
That's the one we want. There you go.
All right.
Here's a checkbox. Okay. So we have that checkbox. But I was thinking, instead of a checkbox, why don't we have this
Toggle?
this toggle thingy here?
Yep.
Just have this toggle.
Yeah,
Not
why
this
not?
one, the switch. This guy.
Yeah, go for it.
So that could be nice. Okay, so I'll do the manual install because I don't want to have that weird error that we had at the top here. So let's do that. Then we'll just expand this and then grab this. And then go back to our code, go to components UI, new file, switch, TSX. There you go. Boom. We have a switch. Now we can go back here, do a switch. This guy. There you go. And now we should have a switch. Right.
There you go.
So they can just like toggle the packages they want to track.
Yep.
And then we track them. Where do we want to show the track packages?
That should be pills. What do you think about putting pills?
That's an option. I mean, maybe we can have this page where you can find packages, you can toggle them. If you search for a package that you already follow, we can try and see if you already follow it, you know?
Yep.
And then we can have another page like my tracked packages or whatever. And then that's where all of the list of packages you're tracking are there.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. So let's do that. Okay, so this is where you can help me. So now, when we have this, how do we call like something here with next?
Yeah, so this I'm thinking server action.
Server action. Okay, because with view it would be a composable, right?
I don't know. That's
server action. I don't
that's gibberish to me.
Well, that is gibberish to me.
So the thing is I've never done a server action on a switch. I'm sure it'll work.
On the switch, well, Can we put like some kind of unchange over there? There should be an unchange.
You must be able to. It'll
Let's
be
see.
in usage or.
Yeah, like example here. Well, they use it in the form too. But yeah, unchecked change.
There you go.
Unchecked change. And then, yeah, we can use that.
All right, so you're going to have to create an action.
Yeah, I mean, should we actually isolate this component here so we can pass the package info in it as well? And then each switch has the unchange, and when you click on it, because we have the packages as a prop, we can just pass it through. What do you think?
We could, but you want to also check if they already have it checked.
Yeah.
So if we did that, it'd just be another prop, I guess. You pass in.
You pass another prop with their tracked packages, I guess, and then you can double check. Yeah. So this component would be responsible to check the status of a package if it's tracked or not, or potentially toggle the tracking.
Yeah, and it should also untoggle it, right? So
yeah, so
it should fire two different server actions.
We can do this track package TSX, and then we create a component here.
Yeah.
So how do you do components like this?
Yep.
Up, and then we put that switch here.
You don't need the div though.
For now, I just keep it, but I know I don't. Yeah. Fuck it, I'll just remove. Okay, so we have this thing. I'm assuming it will be a use client.
Yep. So I have a state, right?
Yeah. Okay, and so now in terms of props, so what are we thinking? We're gonna have the package. I'd like to pass the whole package thing.
Okay, it has to be PKG. Package is a reserve word.
Fair enough.
Okay.
PKG.
And then I would probably put no on toggle you don't need. Oh, actually.
Could we pass that server action through?
You can't. No, I don't think you can pass it as a prop. That's where this becomes tightly coupled.
Yeah. I mean, this component is responsible for that, though. So
that's fair.
I don't think it should be a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So packages, and then eventually.
So you want package and tracked. You don't actually care about.
Right.
You don't have to pass the array, right? You'll already be able to check beforehand.
We could check beforehand.
Well, you should, right? Tracked packages. Tracked could just be a loop over.
Just a status, like a boolean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. This way we can use the checked status actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then uncheck change. There you go. So that's going to be a function here.
Yeah, so this is where it gets tricky because we want two different server actions based on checked.
Yeah, but we could have another method. So we could have like an async function here, handle check change,
Yep, exactly.
And based on the status, we toggle. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll need to figure out what we need to do in here, but that's essentially it. Yeah. This is confusing me to see the cursor autocomplete here. It's pretty weird. Okay, so let's see first if this basic component still works, because sometimes I do weird stuff and it's not always working properly. Track package. Oh, what package? PKG. And then, well, for tracked right now, we could just pass false, I guess. But But yeah, we could do something like this later. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep, that's the idea.
I'm just going to pass false for now. Okay, so let's see if it's still working as expected. Supabase, yeah, okay, it's still working as expected. But now this thing doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're toggling it yourself, right?
Yeah, but here's the kicker. Like if we call our backend here and we say track this package, we're not necessarily going to be able to change that state here because it's a prop.
Yep, that's why you shouldn't have it controlled. So basically, to make it simple, just remove that for now because we don't actually have a tracking.
I mean, we could make it control if we use a subscription with Supabase on this page. So if anything changes in the user track list, we receive the event from Supabase and we just update that array.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible, right?
But the thing is, we don't need it right now. Let's just get tracking a package working.
Fair enough. Let's yeah, so let's remove this guy. And remove this guy. Cool. Oop. Now we can track it, and then we have checked.
Perfect.
So it's just this little guy.
Okay, so in this case, on-check change is actually just going to be handle check change. It's not going to be a...
And yeah, it's going to be this.
Yeah. Okay, and then you just say if checked. And this is where you're going to want your server actions.
Am I missing something here? Oh, okay. So where do you want the server actions? I think
so you have to build them in actions. It doesn't have to be there, but it's may as well just do what they have.
It's a thing we have. Whatever. Okay. So export const track package action. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Thank you, cursor.
We could send it as form data. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, then the error.
So here we'll need the user ID though. So we'll need this.
Yep.
User ID. That's probably like empty. Or does it come back as data?
I think it does. Yeah, it's data error.
Wait a minute. There's a get user. Don't we have a hook for this? No, we don't. Okay. So this comes back as data user. There you go. Okay, so we can insert to track to, actually it's not track package, it's package user. But we need that package ID, so we also need to create that package in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll need to do, that will be, let me do this for now. And then it will be await Supabase from, then it will be packages. And then we can do, I think they have an upsert. Yeah, there you go. Do upsert. And then pass the name. This will be package name. Form data package ID.
It's not going to be package ID, right? It's going to be an object we send.
It's an object, yeah.
It'll be name and scope.
Do you want to send it as an object or? Because it says form data here.
It has to be sent as form data.
But you still want to pass an object. Okay. So
no, I don't want. No, it was send it as form data.
So you want to send it like this?
Yeah, you can send it however you want.
Okay. Well, let's do this then. So package name and then package scope. String or null, technically. This one.
Yep.
Okay, and then this one would be package name. Up, package name. So this is what we need here. Up, then the scope. That's pretty much it. Obviously, we'll track the error at some point, but for now, let's ignore it. if it lets us ignore it. It should. Yeah. Okay, upsert. And I think upsert takes another parameter here, and you have to say on conflict. And we can pass these two columns now. So that will create the package with the name and scope if it doesn't exist, and if it already exists, it will just like update it technically, but it doesn't do much, like because we don't have any other columns to update, so it's not going to do anything. But it will return the ID right here.
Perfect.
However. So we should have the package here, provided that we do a select single. So we'll have to do like select single after that. This way we come up with a package here, and then we can do package ID here.
Okay.
And that should do the trick. We could fetch the data here, but nobody cares.
No.
And then we could just, yeah, if there's an error, just do an error, whatever, and then otherwise return some stuff. I don't know what the hell that is.
They're both named error, right? You have to rename one of them.
Sure. Let's do package error.
It still has to be error first. Yeah.
Package error, and then we do package user error. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
You actually have to do that package error first, right? You wouldn't want to even try and send the other one.
Sure. Up. There we go. Then we do that. There you go. Does that work? Oh, yeah.
Yep, that should work.
Okay. Okay, so now we just need to find a way to send the package name and package scope.
Yep. So they go back to your
from that switch.
Yeah. So then you'll do new const form data equals. I think it's just form data actually. Not use form data. You have to create it yourself. Yeah, there you go. And then just do. Yep, there you go. Cursor for the win.
Yeah, so now I need to import my server action though.
Yep.
What did I name it again?
I just think you can name it track.
Track package action.
Yes, that's it. And you'd say if checked.
Do we need that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if not checked, we're going to fire the other one.
Oh, yeah. So just do checked. There you go. And now we'll need to create that on track. Because I don't have that one. So we have track package action. Now we need it on track. There you go. We'll just do something like that. That'll be fine. But on track should
we only care about removing them.
Yeah, but it should just take an ID if we want to untrack.
We won't know the ID.
But we won't know it, yeah. So how do we do this?
You would grab... Maybe we will need the ID.
It would be nice to have some kind of reference, yeah.
Trying to think how you would do that because we're searching from NPM but mapping.
I mean, another option, because the name and the scope are pretty static. It comes from NPM API, right?
You could just fetch them yourself and get the
worst
ID.
Case scenario, yeah, we just fetch it. We're just like, okay, fetch the package. If there's no package, boom. Otherwise, just do this and then return the shit.
Yep.
Right? We just do that.
Okay.
Whatever. So let's try that, I guess. The on-track package action here is not imported, so let's import that. Should we still await this?
Yes.
Up. And let's see how it works. Shall we try it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so it's done something. there's an error. Exclusion on conflict, blah, blah, blah. So that is coming because we didn't put the on conflict here. So we need to modify this table slightly. And we need to create a unique for these two, right? So
right.
if you do something like this, I mean, maybe we can use, yeah, we could use this. The package table has name and scope as a unique key. Up, and it's going to modify this. There you go. There you go. That's what I need. AI is beautiful. Okay, so let's just run that. There you go. Now we have this unique key. So let's see if we can make it work. So let's go back to our table. Do we see a package? No, there's no packages. However, we can refresh and then remove this error here. Why is it find package? It's protected. Oh, it's because I have a redirect. There's also a weird redirect here. I forgot that we put like a weird redirect find package.
That's okay.
We don't need that, but it's not creating anything. So.
Is there anything in the server?
Yes, it's the row level policy because we forgot to put a policy. So let's see. RLS is disabled here, but it's enabled here. Right, so we can disable RLS for now, just to see if it works, and then we can enable it later. Protected. Let's try it again. Supabase. Extract it. Nope. Ah, yeah, package tracked.
Nice.
But we just need to not redirect, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do that. So what do we return here? False, I guess?
It's just because you're doing /find package, so just do /protected.
Do we want a hard code protected here all the time, though?
Not right. I mean, for now, who cares? But we wouldn't want to.
Because we could just return a Boolean.
Ideally, this wouldn't even be protected, right? Root would be where you go for this.
Yeah, but we could just return a Boolean, too.
That's true.
Okay, so protected. Let's go. Supabase. Well, obviously, it's not doing anything right now. We do that. Package tracked. It's still redirecting over there. But it's because I only changed one method and not the other. But this works. Yes, but do you see that package is undefined? But it is working, though. Like, we have the package ID. It is definitely tracking. We need some kind of upsert here as well to make sure that it doesn't add the same combination of user and package twice.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see actions. We go back here. So that's on track. I did that. I'm going to change this to protected so it doesn't bother me. What is the automatic change? Okay. Up. But we need that package name and package scope, and I don't understand why it's not there. So let's see. Package name, package scope. Package. Are we passing the package in there? We are.
Yep.
But it's not like this, though. It's like this.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, and then for track package, that's the one we need to kind of modify. So here, instead of doing an insert, we'll do an upsert as well. And then we'll do on conflict package user ID. And that should avoid this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So let's delete everything here. Let's delete the packages. And then let's see if it works. So we go back to protected. Protected. There you go. Supabase. We're good. We click. Okay, there's an error. Unique or exclusion matching, whatever. So we need that same query here. Up. And we need to run it for packages. So we'll go here. We'll do that. And it's going to be for package user unique. unique package user, whatever, it'll be user ID, package ID. Just run that. Now that should work properly. So let's see if it created some weird stuff though. Yeah, it did create the package here, but we can delete it just to make sure it works. Let's go. So we go to Supabase, Supabase.js, package tracked, and now we go into the database. We have our Supabase package.
Nice.
The name has the scope already though.
Yep.
Would be nice to just. I mean, actually, if the name is like this, we don't even need.
Yep. Correct. But then we have to do a split on the slash.
Yeah, but
if you get the scope, you just know.
Package Supabase here, and you have the scope here. It doesn't give you the name of the package itself, like just this part.
No.
You have to split it yourself. Yeah.
I think it's because technically the name of that package is at Supabase slash.
Fair, but that's what the scope is for usually. But whatever.
Yeah.
We'll keep it like that for now. That works. So we can follow that.
Perfect.
And following a bunch. There you go. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so now we have to hook up checking which ones you currently watch.
Up. And then I'm not watching it anymore.
Perfect.
I'm watching it. So that works fine. Right.
All right.
So what is the next step? Let's see.
So now we want to actually get what they're tracking so we can show that when you reload. Right? Because right now, if you go back to that UI and reload, in theory, it should show all the toggles off, right?
Yes, correct. Okay, so we need to let's go into page here. That's a server component. So maybe we can just fetch it here.
Yep.
So let's do data track packages. That seems pretty legit.
Wait, from package users, select package ID.
Yeah, we'll select other things though. So we'll select, actually.
This is where it gets tricky, right? Because we don't have the package ID. We need the name. You can't select that from package user.
I need the user.
Oh, the user's below already. Just move your thing down.
I didn't realize. I'll just remove this.
You still want to move it down, right? Because you got the redirect. Yeah.
Just keep it all the way up. Okay, so we have that. Let's see what we get here if we do that.
You'd get nothing though, right? Because package user only has the ID for both package and user.
Up. Let's see. So we load. Where's my window? Okay. Let's reload that. Okay. What do we get in there? We have a bunch of packages. Oh yeah, but wait, because my terminal is going to blow up if I keep both. So let me remove this guy. It's too much otherwise. No, thank you. Up. Okay. Yeah. So we get null, which is kind of expected. So package user select all. Let's do all for now.
Yeah. Can you do a join? You can't, right?
You can. It's just I need to do it differently. So I need to do this and then packages name scope. There you go. Now we have the name.
Oh, perfect.
So now you can just do tracked packages map. Well, no, not map. Tracked packages names. I guess we'll just do that. However, it will be packages. Yeah. mean, I could rename this. I believe there's a way to rename it like this. So I don't remember the syntax exactly, but it's one of those.
How come it's called packages?
Because that's the name of the table.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this syntax here comes from, so Supabase uses an API called Postgres. So it's a REST API on top of Postgres, basically. And that's what it uses with its packages to create those commands. And it has like a way to do relationships using this kind of syntax.
Okay.
However, I think there's a way to rename it. I just don't remember how.
It's probably as.
No, it's not as. It's some weird syntax like this. But
I wouldn't worry about it. A package is fine.
nah, I don't like it being packages. Can I just do this? Huh.
No.
Yes, I can. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Now we have our map.packages, and then here we just need to pass that through.
Yep.
So we can know which packages are tracked.
Keeping in mind though that this is server, right? So if you want to have this data on the front, whenever so basically if we get a success back from a track package, we probably want to set that in the state locally, and then if they refresh, we'd fetch it from the server. Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
You'll see. Pass those in.
Okay. Can I get rid of this or?
Yes.
Because I don't think we need it. But do you want me to do this map later, or should I do it like straight here?
In the server's fine.
Okay. Okay, so let's just pass that through. And then we have the find package form. There you go. Just do that.
Yeah, add it to the prop.
Just
you can get rid of switch and stuff at the top there. I don't think we use it anymore in here.
True.
Okay, and then now we can do the is tracked.
Up. And then now we just need to process this is tracked.
Yep.
Do you want to do it like this?
We'll see how it works. I'd be curious to see. I don't think we're using Canary, right? So we don't even have use optimistic. Oh, perfect.
Seems to work.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. We got it.
Nice.
And then we just need to get another page where you can actually list those packages that you're tracking, because you're not always going to search for your package.
But yeah, let's do that as our final thing before we sign off.
Before we leave. Do you want me to keep it in the protected folder for now?
Yeah.
So keep it in protected. No, it's not a file that I want to create. It's a folder. Let's do tracked.
Yep.
That seems correct. Okay. Export default function page. There you go.
Yeah, I think it actually has to be named page. Can you double check that?
No, it doesn't.
No?
No.
It just has to be a default function?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So what do we have here?
What's the error there?
This. I'm just
you just had a red.
It's just like.
Oh, possibly undefined.
Because it could be undefined, yeah.
Just make it a. Oh, okay. That
could
works.
do that, or I could do that.
Yeah, make it empty array. There you go.
I still need to make it
at the top. Go back to your page there. Oh yeah, okay, you can do that too.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted that, and then now I have this page. I just wanted to put like kind of the same thing. Similar thing. All the packages you are tracking. And I think I will just put like tracked. Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
And then we need a list. So it's kind of the same query as the other one, so I'm kind of tempted of putting this query somewhere else.
Yep.
Where should we put it?
Probably lib. Or you could put it in the Supabase folder.
Lib.
Or you do it util Supabase, and we put all of our querying in here. Right, you could just have a get tracked packages or something in here.
Oh, you want to create one file per query?
Or you could just do query.ts or queries.ts.
Yeah, let's do that.
There you
Go. I'll need my Supabase client. Do I need to use server here? Not really.
Depends on where you're fetching this. If you're going to fetch in server, yes. And I think create client has to come from our stuff. From server. Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to use server at the top then.
Only if it's going to be a server action, but this isn't.
Okay. Okay, so let's do that. And then just return data error. This way it's the same. This way this is kind of the same response as Supabase. So actually, maybe we should just return the Supabase query. This way, we don't have to worry about it. I don't have to wait it here though. Get track packages. It does track. It does need the user. So do you prefer to do it in here? I guess we could do it in here.
Yep. The only thing is, then, are you going to want to throw the redirect in here? If there's no user?
Oh, but that's a different problem. So it's like if
or do you want to just pass user?
Just do that.
I would just pass the user ID.
You would pass the user ID? Okay. Let's do that then. Up. So we have this is Supabase. Get tracked packages user ID. And let's import that. Go. Are we still rolling? Just want to make sure we're still rolling in here. Yes, we are. Okay. So now we can go protected. Protected tracked. And we can grab the same thing as this. Boom.
And then, I still have to do the const user. This is the one thing I don't like.
It doesn't have to happen this way. This is dumb. Like there's another way to do this.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah, well, one way to do that is to just do it in here. Was it server?
You still need the user though. How are you going to get it?
What do you mean?
When you pass it to get tracked.
Okay. Well, the user, we can always fetch it from Supabase because at this point we assume it's signed in, because otherwise we redirect you if you're not. So
right.
Any pages after that, you just assume the user is signed in. Typically, like the way Clerk does it is that they have a component, it's like a provider, and you just wrap your layout in a provider called signed in.
Yep.
And that assumes it's signed in. Otherwise, there's like an error boundary that you are faced with. And it's
okay.
Yeah. That's the way Clerk would do it. Where does this come from? Next navigation? Yeah.
Because the thing for me is we're already doing this in the middleware.
We are, to some extent, yeah. But whatever. Here, that's what I'm going to do. Well, boom, there you go. Let's do that. This way we have our user.
User can be null.
True.
You see, this is the thing I always run into, right? It's like, do I fetch the user and then redirect them inside that function? But then that function's kind of doing two different things. I've always just left it at the top of the page.
Problem solved.
What'd you do?
I just forced it like a mofo. Okay.
All right.
F it, you know. Okay. So let's do that, and then we grab our tracks packages.
You can get rid of that data one, I think, right? Line
Yeah,
9.
that was just our Next.js adventures.
There you go.
Okay, so now we can go. Let me close a little bit of this stuff here. Now we can go into this guy. We can do the same. Boom.
Perfect.
Do the same, and then maybe I can exclude. Maybe we can extract this a little bit, like this thing.
Oh, yep.
Let's see if we can.
So yeah, you might want to be able to untrack from your tracked as well, right? Definitely would want to.
Yeah.
We could just call this tracked list, or
Well, just tracked packages. Right?
I'm just thinking because like you're gonna have this in the place where you're finding a package.
Yeah. You can have it anyway. Does it matter? Actually, I'm going to name it packages. So we could do something like this.
Yep.
That would work. So this way we have track packages. Let's put it inside of here. So if we have tracked packages, that will be packages will be data.
Yep.
And then track packages name is still the same. Right? Did I name the component properly? No, I didn't. Haha. Gotcha. We name this right now. There we go. But it exists now. You can stop your error. Okay. Track packages. So we do have our track packages.
Yeah, you can just delete that ending tag.
Yes.
And you don't need the data.map anymore.
Oh, actually move that all the way and then delete all of that. There we go. So then we can grab this and then put it into here. Track packages. This will be. Yeah, but this one is different. This one only lists from this and not from a search.
Mm-hmm. This is actually okay because you know that every one of them is tracked.
Yeah, but we don't have that list.
But packages is tracked packages, and you giving it name and scope, so it has the data you need. Right?
Yeah, but I'm only passing the packages names here. So here you would want to get rid of that then.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna import everything. I'm gonna make this async so it stops complaining. Okay, so track packages and tracked package. No, we still need track packages name. My bad. Still need it.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's gonna be like this. We import this. We import this. We put the async so it's happy. There you go. And then here, this is tracks packages, but we map it so it's in a particular like style.
It should be the correct style, no?
It's still package, yeah. It's package and name and scope. As long as we don't use anything else to display, we're good.
Okay. Yeah.
It should still be the same. And then track packages name. This guy is just not happy because it could be undefined, I guess. So let's do this and then pass it an empty array as well. So it's the same fix as before. So we do that. But here packages, this guy is not happy.
I think it's because it could also be null, right?
Let's do that then.
You got to check if track packages exists.
No, you could do that.
Oh, that, yeah. You can make it.
Let's see. So now we have, yeah, you see, we have this issue. Packages name. Error reading name. So we don't have name here.
I think you do.
Oh, it's because I don't need the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Now we're rolling.
Now what happens if you click the toggle?
Well, I can't
that makes sense because the success goes to the wrong place.
Yeah.
All right,
but then
now go.
Let's see if we go back to tracked. Yeah, no, it still works.
Nice.
It's just a redirection that we're going to have to fix so you can stay on the same page.
We'll fix that.
Yeah. One extra thing that I would like to do in here is to just add like class name.
Ah, yes, fair.
Yeah. And I'd like to merge with this potentially.
Makes sense.
So let's grab this, put CN, and do it this way. This way on this page, I can actually override this and just do P0. So it doesn't have anything, and then
nice.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
20 is a lot. There you go. Something like that.
There we go.
Okay, we're rolling. Do you think we can fix one last thing before that? Before
what is it?
This redirection here.
Oh, you want to fix it?
Yeah.
All right. So we'd have to know where the request comes from in order to redirect them back to it.
Can't we do
or you just don't
name or something?
Well, you could just also just not return.
Not redirect, you mean?
Yeah. You don't need to do that. You could just return the data you want.
Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, because that redirection is weird. So what kind of other response would be nice for server action?
It doesn't, for us, we don't really care. We just care if it's successful or not. So in case of error...
Why don't we do that? For now.
Yeah, I actually don't know if you can return a false true, but let's try it.
And we can deal with the errors later, like we'll figure something out.
Yeah, like ideally we'd probably have like a state, like an object that we return that has like a status and a message.
Sure.
And whatever else we want.
Sure, but right now we could just do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the record. Eventually, if we were to return a record here, it would probably be this one because that's the one we care about at the end of the day.
Exactly. Well, then we can update the UI in real time.
So we could just do that, right? And just return that.
There you go.
So I'll do the same here. Okay, so that seems to make more sense. So now if I go to Supabase and I follow like this one, it doesn't work.
Oh, it did.
Oh, eventually. Supabase. No. See? Doesn't track it. It doesn't track it.
Interesting. What's the server say?
Nothing. Nothing is happening. And now it's tracked. Oh yeah, it's because
So
we
it's-
don't have but it's
we don't
because
have the redirect, so it's not reloading.
we don't have the redirect, so it's not reloading, and
Yeah.
we don't add this response to the array.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, okay, no, that makes sense.
There you go. So fix one problem, but create another.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can always fix that later.
Yeah.
You know,
You could also force the refresh.
you could do
If
that,
you
or like I
go-
said, here this query on your client, you could listen to the same query. You could have a
Yep.
subscription to that table.
Oh, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
So we could do that eventually.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to commit this, and I think we're in a decent state.
Yeah. Next step is actually going over and creating that cron.
Yep. Oop, I didn't add everything. Let's see. Did it commit something though? Yeah. Okay. It's not log. It's commit. There you go. Boom. All right. Well, there's some progress tonight. It was good.
Sweet.
It was good. All right.
Well, as always, thanks for everyone who joined us.
Nice.
This
Nice.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We had quite a few people tonight. It was cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Good questions. And yeah, hopefully we can get deeper next week. The hackathon does end on Sunday, so we do have to submit this project before Sunday.
Yes.
So we will be working on that project this week and try to submit it for the end of Sunday. But we will do probably the stream on next Monday. We'll be reviewing what we did.
Yeah, and we should showcase it too.
Yeah.
Me as well.
So we'll try to do that. If you folks want to join, feel free. Every Monday, 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. There we go.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Have a good night, Cody. See you
You
later.
too.
Cheers.